Hi, everyone out there. Thank you very much for joining today. So my name is Andreas. I'm founder of mysupply. And today I have the pleasure to open the session for a presentation of our new AI sourcing assistant. And that's really awesome and very happy to share our news. So today I want to get on stage my colleague Alex, who is our head of product. Hi, Alex. And my dear colleague Ivaylo, who is our customer success manager. And as a team, we want to present you today, let's say, how this new tool works, how the AI assistant works, and just coming up with a small agenda for today. So I just give you some introduction about what this is all about, where does mysupply come from. Then we are introducing what is basically this new AI sourcing assistant. And then Alex will show us a live demo of the tool. And in the next step, Ivaylo will help us to understand how you can much better integrate this solution into your environment and also how to do a pilot. In the very end, we will also have the chance to do a Q&A session. So feel invited, of course, in the chat. Please ask all your questions. So we try to cover them at the very end of the session so that we're able basically to answer all of them. So let me just quickly give you some thoughts on how basically the situation in procurement is, especially in terms of sourcing from our perspective. So the lack of skilled talent is a really huge process, as a really huge problem. And 87% of the companies say that, especially also in procurement, it's one of the big major topics that they're facing. And it's really big issue to deal with each and everything at the same time. There's so many requirements. There's so much need of dealing with governmental processes, with, let's say, strategic sourcing cases that they're out in the market. And especially when it comes to sourcing, the high strategic already takes a lot of effort. And the tactical sourcing is especially the section which is today taking a lot of effort, which is completely unnecessary. So there is only little tools out there in the market. The processes are still very manually driven. It's very much still on email and on telephone to getting the things done. And you need a lot of workforce. There's just little negotiations happening. And sustainability is also nothing really, which is very much matching with tactical sourcing. And so this is the area where we are focusing on. And what mysupply basically does is automating these tactical sourcing by helping to reduce the effort and also increasing the savings by doing better negotiations and taking sustainability as a topic, let's say, which is becoming part of the standard case, and that sustainability is an integral part of also the tactical sourcing. So in the end, when you're using mysupply, there is a lot of savings potential, especially when it comes to effort reduction and when it comes to increasing the savings. So this is where basically mysupply is focusing on. So we started with mysupply as a tool for procurement, for tactical procurement that helps to automate sourcing and negotiations. So we have a built-in AI identification of suppliers. We do demand bundling. We do a lot of things that helps to do an efficient sourcing, as well as using game theory for doing automated negotiations. Based on that high level of automation, we have been able to bring this to the next level and make the process fully autonomous. So this means for more repetitive spend, you can also use mysupply to do regular sourcing, for example, for spare parts, for lubricants like oil or so, where you have regular demands. You can just set up sourcing processes that are conducted completely autonomously, and then you're able to really have basically no effort for repetitive demands, including the negotiation section. What is now new and what is bringing this to the next level is our AI sourcing assistant. And this is something which is not made for procurement, but it helps procurement, but it's made for the requesters. So requesters use this tool to help, let's say, doing an automated sourcing process, even on a self-service level. So it's possible using this tool on the one hand, let's say, to help procurement doing a better job by helping improving the quality of the specification, but also helping a lot to even do self-service sourcing. How this exactly works, you will see in the demo. Let me just get a bit more in detail. How does this all work? How does the self-service sourcing work? So it starts normally integrated with an SAP as a catalog punch out within SAP Ariba or somewhere else, or even as an MS Teams application. So the first thing is we're helped to improve the demand specification by using LLMs. So this is the first big step. Based on a much better demand specification, you will see how this works. We are able to identify what kind of category is this. And based on the category, we can guide this into the right process. This means, for example, that we're using machine learning also and using historic data for analyzing, about historic sourcing events and seeing if we can utilize these data as well. Based on that, it's going into the right flow. So this means if it's eligible for a self-service sourcing, it's going into this path. Alex shows you later how this works. But it could also go into the tactical sourcing that procurement is taking over, or even to an autonomous sourcing case that is also conducted with mysupply. In case it's something which is made more for strategic sourcing and you're using a sourcing tool like SAP Ariba or others, you can also just create a PR in your SAP or wherever, and then basically take the process from there. So we are basically very flexible to, let's say, adjust how this process is initially executed. So for seeing a bit more of this, I would like to introduce Alex again and hand over to you, and would love to see the demo now.
I'm Alex.
All right, great.
I am the product manager at mysupply, and we have been developing the core product for quite some time now, but it has been very, very exciting, especially over the last few months, because we managed to develop this AI assistant that I'm going to show you right away. Let me just share my screen and I'll jump right into it. All right, so I'll show you the web version of the assistant, but as Andreas mentioned, we can plug this in directly into the PR of your ERP system, whether it's SAP ECC, S/4HANA, or anything else. The backbone of this assistant is still the core mysupply product made for procurement, but from the user perspective, it's very lean and simple. I am now in the role of the buyer, and let's say I just want to buy something. I just open the assistant and click on New Request. And one of the very first problems that we try to solve is to be able to have good descriptions, good definitions of what I need to buy. Let's say I need to arrange transportation. This is obviously not enough information for any supplier to provide a quote, but the development of large language models in the past couple of years has allowed us to actually train a model so that the bot automatically asks me all the right questions so that the suppliers and the procurement team have all the needed information. So we start with what's the pickup point and destination. Let's say pickup is Hamburg, Germany. Drop-off will be out of Beijing in China. Could you please provide the content of the packages? Sure, we are preparing for an event. It will be mostly marketing materials, a few banners, and some iPads. Next, I need to provide the weight and dimensions of the package, obviously all very relevant. Let's say it's 8 kilos, 30 by 50 by 100 centimeters. Okay, we're getting more into the specifics now. Does the package contain any dangerous goods? The iPads need to be handled according to PI 967. And we'll do an air freight transportation. Okay, let's say this is enough. I don't have any other requirements. Now, the next step of what the assistant does is it tries to determine what is the correct category of the item or the service that I'm trying to source. And the category is very important because it allows us to know how exactly should the sourcing go, whether it needs to go to procurement, whether I'm allowed to buy it myself, or what are the rules and conditions that apply. In this case, we identify transportation services. I confirm the category. Since we're buying a service, the amount is not that relevant, so I'll just leave it as 1. And the expected price, obviously due to different approvals or different policies, this can be relevant. For transportation from Germany to China, I would expect a few €100 should be enough. And that's it. The assistant will automatically pre-fill my purchase requisition form with all the needed details, everything related to the payment, everything related to the actual tendering and the suppliers included. If I'm happy and I don't want to make any additional changes, I can just click submit, and that's it. Now, in the background, inside of mysupply, I'll show you in a bit, we have created a source, we have started a sourcing process. We have already invited the suppliers to submit their offers. And once the offers are in, I'll receive a notification. I'll be able to come to the assistant over here, review the offers, and decide if I want to accept or reject some of them. This is, again, a very lean process. Let me show you here. I have a previous purchase for electric pallet trucks. I just navigate to the offers. I see all the suppliers that submitted some offers. I see their prices and any additional information that they may include. Let's say I want to reject one of the offers, and if I'm happy with that, I just click Start. And now on the background, inside of mysupply, we are starting an automated negotiation process. Let me just switch to the mysupply system. I know you haven't seen it, so I'll try to keep it very high level and not go into too much details. If I come here to workflows, I see that a new workflow has been created just now. And this is exactly what we just bought. We need transportation to Beijing. We have our request time frame, and we have already sent the invitation to the 5 suppliers that were needed. Now, this sourcing process will happen automatically end-to-end, but not everything is allowed to be sourced via self-service. So let me show you one more example. Let's say I need to buy some coolant. It will be used for a CNC machine in our main manufacturing site. It has to be glycol-based, must be suitable for up to 30 degrees Celsius. Let's say I don't have any other requirements. And in this example, once I confirm the category, and let's say I need 100 liters, and the expected price would be 5,000. My PR form is now a lot shorter. This is because I'm not allowed to proceed with the self-sourcing, and the purchase requisition will just contain the information about my demand of what I need to buy. And the moment I submit it, it will appear inside of mysupply under our demands tab to be picked up by procurement. So from here, the procurement team can decide how to source all of this. And that's it. That's our AI assistant in a nutshell. Without going into all the details, let me try to give you some information about how it works exactly. All of the intelligence is hidden from the user. It's orchestrated from mysupply. And it all starts with what we call a category management table. Over here, a category manager within the organization can define all the rules, all the thresholds, and the dependencies about how each product and each category should be sourced. Some things are available in catalogs, so they don't need to go through tendering at all. Some things must always be sourced via procurement, and other things are allowed to be sourced via self-service directly from the chat. We can see and define all of this here inside the table. And let's just check this one example. We have industrial machinery and accessories. We have some categories that are associated with it. And we allow self-sourcing up to 25,000 euro. Now, how does the assistant know what does self-sourcing mean? Over here, we have a template. Inside of the template is where we define all of the sourcing details. And let's deep dive into this one, intralogistics handling equipment. Over here, we can manage, create, and change all of our templates. And I'll just try to very quickly go through one to show you what can and cannot be adjusted. First, we have our automation controls. So which parts of the sourcing should happen automatically and which parts maybe require some manual intervention. When it comes to evaluation, I can define rules like I need one offer in general, but if the value is above 5,000, I need 2. If it's above 10,000, I need, for example, 3. Under request, I can define as a category manager all the generic information that always needs to be part of the request. This could be some requirements towards the suppliers, some general terms that they need to always accept, or let's say the payment terms, because the actual requester that's buying, that needs some coolant for the factory, they don't really care about the payment methods and they don't know about them. Under invitation is where I can decide which suppliers I want to invite. And I can even toggle on and off our advanced features like, should mysupply automatically suggest the most appropriate suppliers? Or should the requester be able to select the suppliers themselves, but only rely on the internal supplier list? There are much more things that we can customize and control, but I'll leave it at this to not confuse you anymore. If you have any additional questions, feel free to get in touch and we'll do more detailed demo. And that's pretty much all from my side. I would now like to welcome Ivo, our customer success manager, who will show you and who will tell you a bit more about how we do pilots and integrations.
Hi, thanks, Alex, for the interesting demo. So I'm Ivo, our customer success manager, and I'm going to tell you more about our pilot. So I guess you're wondering how would it look like when you start with mysupply. Well, typically we start with a pilot project that is aimed to confirm the fit and also to pave the way for a complete rollout. So since each organization is different and has unique flows and procedures, we try to tailor the pilot to the customer specifics, but still follow some general established general structure. Initially, we go with a deep dive first of the as-is process to seamlessly integrate into the current operations. This serves as a foundation for the actual integration later on as well. We move on to define a scope of a pilot. Based on the initial findings, we define categories, value ranges, and volumes of purchase requisitions that we want to channel through mysupply. We move on to establish metrics for measuring the outcomes. Most commonly, we are focusing on financial savings, process efficiencies, and user acceptance from both suppliers and buyers. We then go into a hypercare period during which we onboard test users, provide them with the necessary guidance and support to start creating value with mysupply as fast as possible. And although we maintain an extensive knowledge base and help desk, we encourage our teams to meet in person via Zoom or Teams meetings, as we believe the personal contact is the best way to share knowledge. We end with a review of the project, focusing on the results, learnings, and determine together next steps for rolling out in an integrated setting. So regarding the implementation, before proceeding with the actual technical implementation, we incorporate any learnings and thoroughly discuss potential customization or feature extensions. And then during the implementation period, we collaborate closely with the customers' IT, marketing, and legal teams to ensure perfect fit within the corporate landscape of the customer. And that's it from me. So I would get back Alex and Andreas on stage.
Thank you very much, Ivo. This was a great overview about the potential, of course, about where to connect to various systems and also about how we do the pilots. Thank you very much. Yeah, there was one question coming from Oscar. Thank you very much, Oscar, for asking. Yeah, so I think this is a question that is kind of tailor-made for our head of product, Alex. So please go ahead.
Thank you, Andreas, and thanks, Oscar, for the question. We are based on an existing LLM. However, we are fine-tuning and customizing it for our own needs. And it is set up in such a way that we can even utilize your own historical data in order to improve the efficiency over time. So it is a locally running LLM, of course.
All right. If there is other questions, please feel free to ask them now. Please, of course, if you want to reach out later, you see on the banner, you see the email address where to reach out to, or of course, you can reach out to any one of us on LinkedIn. So we would be happy to help. Yeah, thank you very much for the session today. Thank you very much for, let's say, having us. If you want to book a meeting, you see the link below. Then we're going to demo, of course, also things in detail we just went through very briefly today. So again, thanks a lot. Have a lovely day and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.